Good morning. Don't you just love these early morning starts? Because Hong Kong, even though Hong Kong is technically part of China, it still has its own immigration. And because of that, even though it's only about a 1.5 hour ferry ride across the bay, for immigration, for the ferry ride, and then immigration again, and then the trip to Xiaolan, it's about a 4-hour endeavor total. And that does not include getting to the ferry terminal in Hong Kong. So thank God Hong Kong transportation is very convenient. It's a little too early and I'm a little too remote to get a taxi cab. So I gotta walk a little ways to get to the train station. This is a brand new video screen at the ferry terminal. Improvements all around. Just an advertisement for Zhongshan. When you come out of the ferry terminal, this is what you're greeted with. These are one of the buses I'm going to be getting on here in about 20 minutes. And all the taxi cabs are over here, and they are relentless. They follow you out of the parking lot. Taxi, 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 where you go, where you go? The ferry is definitely the way to go if you want to come to mainland China from Hong Kong. They have buses. You can take the subway to the border crossing. But it's a real pain in the neck. You get off the bus, go through immigration. The lines are very, very long in those ports. I think the ferry terminals, if you just go into, say, Gujin or Zhongshan or Zhuhai even, they're much smaller ports of entry, so we have less crowds, and it's much more convenient, and you get through immigration really quickly. This took less than 2 minutes to get through immigration here, whereas if I went from the Hong Kong to Shenzhen border, it could take well over an hour. Just like the one in Zhuhai to Macau can take over an hour too. Successfully made it back to Xiaolan, and I'm very happy to be home. Now I could take a motorbike cab, but I think I'm just going to walk it because it's a nice day and it's really not that far. It's maybe a kilometer and a half. Save $1. Man, am I becoming cheap? Hey, buddy. I was just daydreaming a little bit. You know those guys on ADD China? It's Winston and C-Milk. If you don't know their channel, go check it out. Those guys have been living here for like 10 years. You know, they're married, kids, and cars and businesses. And I think Winston, he's just a full-time YouTuber now. But those guys ride around all over China on motorbikes, which is an awesome way to see China. I'm very jealous of them. Now, I was thinking to myself, okay, well, what would I want to do if I were back home in America? Well, I guess the answer would be to get a Jeep and one of those rooftop tents and just drive around all over the country, all over North America. Find some old, unknown roads and just explore. Now, America's a big country. So is China, as well as all the other countries around China. And it's mostly unexplored by Westerners. So again, I'm just daydreaming here, but how cool would it be if, I could have a lifestyle where I have a Jeep here in China, a little rooftop tent, and I explore all the unknown places throughout China. I mean, it's one thing to do on a motorbike, but then you're stuck, you know, sleeping in flea bag motels and things like that. I prefer camping to that, you know, at least I know my sheets are clean. And you see it on ADV China whenever those guys are off in some obscure village or something, you know, they're sleeping in just the horrible conditions, you know, the beds are breaking, there's blood and semen on the walls of the hotels they're staying at. They enjoy it, they think it's funny, but I'm too old for that kind of shit. No, I don't have plans to stay in China long term, but there's always the what if. I really like China. This is a beautiful country and it's so much to see, more than just my little corner here. I guarantee you I'd probably be the only Westerner doing it. And me being a complete layman or a complete novice when it comes to the language and the culture, only being here a year, how interesting would it be to see it from, you know, a virgin's eyes? I think it would be an adventure of a lifetime. Not just China, you know, you do Mongolia, you do a little bit of Russia, you know, the Stan countries. That'd be great. Do you think that would be a cool idea? You can even throw in a little Southeast Asia, anything that's, you know, not on an island. That would be a dream of mine. You know, Asia's a big place. Hell, you can go all the way to Europe and Africa even. Well, it's a beautiful thought, but again, I'm just daydreaming a little bit. It's good for you. It was a great day back at work. I'm exhausted from a long day after the travel, but let me share with you a fun thing that happened today I thought was really cool. As everybody knows, I'm still working on my Chinese, and I'm getting better at it. I'm working really, really hard on it. And I was at a store today, and you know, they rang me up. It was something like 62 RMB or something like that. And the lady behind the counter, this poor girl, was trying desperately to try talking to me in English. And she just was getting frustrated because she didn't know how to say 62, right? And I didn't know what she was trying to say, so I just blurted out 多少钱? And she went, "Oh my God, you speak Chinese?" I said, "No, 听不懂中文." But I know the basics, you know, the numbers and everything. So that feeling that when you first was learning a language and starting to be able to have very simple conversations with somebody, I love that, and I had that feeling today. So I just thought I'd share that with you.